Welcome to the Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast, a show created to help painting company owners build a thriving painting business that does well over $1 million in annual revenue. I'm your host, Brandon Pierpont, founder of Painter Marketing Pros and creator of the popular PCA educational series, Learn, Do, Grow, Marketing for Painters. In each episode, I'll be sharing proven tips, strategies, and processes from leading experts in the industry on how they found success in their painting business. We will be interviewing owners of the most successful painting companies in North America and learning from their experiences. In this episode of the Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast, Maggie Kuyper, owner of Harpeth Painting, and Chris Elliott, owner of OnIT Painting, discuss the upcoming PCA Commercial Painting Conference. They will lay out what's included, the value you're likely to receive if you plan to attend, and their experience with other PCA events like PCA Commercial Painting. If you want to ask Maggie or Chris questions related to anything in this podcast series, you can do so in our exclusive Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast forum on Facebook. Just search for Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast forum on Facebook and request to join the group. Or type in the URL, facebook.com/groups/Painter Marketing Mastermind. Again, that URL is facebook.com/groups/Painter Marketing Mastermind. There you can ask Maggie or Chris questions directly by tagging them with your question so you can see how anything discussed here applies to your particular painting company. What's going on, guys?
What's up, Brandon?
What's up? Super excited for this upcoming conference. I know the commercial painting, I know that conference, I think it resumed last year, right? First time in a while. Okay.
Yes, in Nashville.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was
fun, actually, but it was the last night was a little too fun, but that happens.
That's Nashville for you.
Yeah.
Gets away from you. I've been to a lot of PCA events, and that was the only one that I had too much fun at.
I wish I could say the same.
Yeah.
You had an appropriate amount of fun.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess let's get into it. What does the conference look like?
Good question. Wasn't it look a whole lot like Scottsdale, Arizona?
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah. So we're 42 days out, actually. It is
what are the dates? Let's set the dates.
Yeah, November 12th through the 15th. So
where is it?
Is going to be a welcoming reception towards the evening. Give everybody a chance to come together and be a nice kind of just segue into the conference. The 13th and the 14th, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to learn and to come together, network. Some really fun events are scheduled. Also, the first day, there's going to be some optional activities. We're going to have golf. We're going to have pickleball. We're going to have, I believe, rock climbing. Maggie, what am I missing? There's going to be all kinds of fun optional stuff to participate.
Yeah.
Where's this stuff?
It's all at the resort.
Oh, that's awesome. Where's the conference?
Yeah.
It's
So go ahead, Maggie.
It's at the Boulders. Is there an S?
It's Boulders. Yeah, I think it's Boulders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right in Scottsdale. It's close to the airport, but it's also, you're going to feel like you're in just this middle of nowhere exclusive, phenomenal resort. It's 5-star, one of a kind. It's going to be super special place to be and place to just network. I mean, I know we say this a lot about PCA events, but particularly at the commercial level, whether you're new to commercial work or been doing it for decades, the opportunity to just brain meld and share with other commercial contractors, best practices, things you've learned, new tricks of the trade. It's just, the opportunities are endless. I mean, I know even from our last commercial conference, we gained a new vendor that's become a huge part of our network, as well as we were referred like 3 jobs from other commercial clients, not in Nashville, had a GC, needed work in Nashville, things like that. So the networking is endless.
Absolutely.
That probably more than paid for the conference.
Yeah.
A long shot. I think for me, I've never been huge into how nice a place is for a conference because I'm always going there for learning. As I've gone to more of them, I care more about that. But I also think, especially with something like the commercial, when you go and the environment is a certain kind of environment, I think it kind of puts people in the right headspace to make big deals.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a different if you haven't been to a commercial conference, it's a different vibe than Expo or anything else because, it is that it's these contractors that are attending are we're doing things at kind of a different category in terms of job size, job complexity, longevity of relationships. All these things are different in the commercial world. And so it's going to feel different. But I'm with you, Brandon. Like I used to just be like, it's fine, whatever, Holiday Inn, it's great. But then like you're like, man, if I'm going to leave my business, I'm going to leave my family, if I'm going to spend time away, man, it sure is nice to feel like you're on a vacation.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You guys both know me well enough to know that I'm far too bougie for the Holiday Inn.
You're quite bougie.
I do care. No.
Where
I
was
was raised to
where was
prioritize free breakfast and free parking. So
There you go. There you go.
as was I. Where was the resort, Chris, that you were staying in? Was it Sarasota that I went and
Oh no, it was actually Longboat Key. So yeah, it's the Key Club there. Yeah.
when I figured out how you liked a vacation.
That was such a great day.
Yeah.
That was a great
That was
day.
good.
Brandon and I having drinks for about 8 hours on the beach. I think it was supposed to be an hour. We were supposed to have lunch. It turned
Slightly
in.
extended.
Yeah, it was so good. I was just telling Jill about it. So Jill, our executive director of the PCA, so like she goes out with her, members of the ops team. So Jill and Jessica go out and visit these properties ahead of time. They've seen, with the other 3 events that we had going or that we have here at the end of the year, and then with the expo, they're going to these properties ahead of time, checking them out, and making sure it works and getting just the lay of the land. And she has just shared with me so many times like how special and unique this property is. So I agree. Like you go to a conference, we all have been to the expo, we've been to conferences where it's just like you get there and it's like 3 days just like fly by and then you're on your flight home. And so the hotel, like it really, like sometimes it doesn't matter, but like the timing of this, being at the end of the year, how unique and awesome this was. Like if you went for nothing else but just the time away and to kind of recharge and as Maggie said, kind of just get to go rub shoulders, spar with your peers, like think through things, kind of a nice close to your year and start planning to the upcoming year. I mean, this is going to be just a great space to be able to start making that transition from 2024 to 2025.
I think
yeah.
Go ahead, Maggie.
I was just going to say the timing is great for planning. I think we try to emphasize this a lot. Transitioning to commercial or ramping up commercial or, honing your commercial skills it's not something that happens overnight. And so, doing this in November could really help create a platform to plan for a great 2025 and 2026, which I know sounds crazy, but that's kind of
It's
the game
commercial
plan.
though, right? It's like a
Right.
longer thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. But the content's going to be great. We have an amazing keynote speaker. Urs Koenig is speaking. He's an author and this, I've actually just started his book, Radical Humility. But he's a former UN military peacekeeper and ultra endurance athlete who's going to be the keynote speaking on. So he's come on, probably be a lot similar to some of the other keynotes we've had at Expo. He's a pretty big deal. So we'll kick off with that. And then the content, I think, will just continue to blow you away. Chris, I think you have the theme nailed down.
Yes. So theme is bold. So build, observe, lead, and develop. So it's I think it's a great theme. It aligns very much with what we've been sharing in this. A great keynote, great educational content for the 13th and 14th. We're gonna have, so it's gonna be probably 100 plus commercial contractors there, plus some vendors and the PCA team. The vendors that are going to be participating are just going to be just really, really great. And we're trying to create good opportunities from, again, the peer-to-peer conversation, the experts who are coming in with the educational content, and then also these vendors and suppliers that are that align really well with our businesses. So I think it's going to be, I just think it's going to be an exceptional event. I actually don't think, I know it's going to be an exceptional event. The Maggie and I, we've shared that we're on the board of directors for the PCA, but we're also in the commercial committee. So we're very involved with the planning of this, and yeah, it's hard to really in a quick podcast, I kind of just express how much work and effort and thought went into this from a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean it's a fairly lengthy conference. Like I guess it's a reception on the 12th. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so we'll kick off with just fun on the 12th. So one of our goals was to create an opportunity for respite. So on Tuesday, the 12th, it's optional activities all day. And so there's golfing, there's a spa, rock climbing, pickleball, like Chris said, and then the evening is just kind of a kickoff for reception. And then the content is all day Wednesday and all day Thursday. So kind of similar to last year, our commercial conference. We'll have the keynote, we'll have a bunch of panels. There will be, we're still working on unveiling the evening event because it's going to be pretty special. And then on Thursday, more content throughout the rest of the day, an evening gathering, and then everyone leaves on Friday. So definitely almost a full week. If you choose to take Tuesday for fun and rest and excitement. Otherwise, you could probably crank out a quick little 2.5 day conference trip.
Will there be anything on Friday?
Nope.
Okay.
it's like grab and go breakfast and then just check out.
Nice.
Also, again, it's like if you were going to bring out of one of the PCA's events, like if you were going to bring your spouse or team members, like this would be a great one to do, and then you could extend your time into the weekend. As Maggie shared, like world-class spa here. So again, I think that starting on a Tuesday, if you decided you could definitely lead into your weekend.
Yeah.
So
I like how the PCA sets that up. And it takes into account the fact that people have families and other stuff going
yeah,
on.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, the commercial. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, friends that I know that are coming, I know several that are bringing a spouse, just so that during the day, like whether they participate in the conference or not, there's just going to be a lot of great things to do at this resort. So
You and
I'm
Emily
bringing
in
my
the spot.
spouse.
I'm bringing a spouse too.
Yeah,
Crazy how that works.
it's crazy. You guys will all be in the spa hanging out for the weekend.
Brandon, you will be there.
I will not. I will not be at the commercial. Yeah, I'm going to, man, I'm going to I'm going to the residential. I'm going to the women in paint. I think might be going to one other thing, but I'm not going to the commercial this fall. I had to cut it somewhere.
I thought we were friends, but I guess Maggie and I
We
need to
were friends.
Yeah, okay.
No, you weren't wrong. It's just, yeah, past, present, future, they're all different.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, the commercial painting conference last year, I was really impressed. I remember they had the panel. I know Dave Scaturo and a couple other people were on there. I think it was like I don't know, 100 million or 200 million. There's some crazy amount of revenue sitting on that stage. You guys
Yeah.
know who was on that?
No. Last
People
year
who
was a
were
blur.
really successful. I think the biggest one was like 50 or 70 million in annual revenue. Like going to
Rocky,
is it
Rocky
Rocky?
Cherry. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
well.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. That's the one of the things we talked about with, when we're talking with these vendors, the buying power
Yeah.
in the room that will all be together November 13, 14, is incredible. I mean, I would say the majority of the companies there are probably close to buying 1 million plus a year from each vendor.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's a different level, but it's also not an unapproachable level, right? And so, like you saw probably last year, Brandon, the Rocky Cherries of the world, Cherry Coatings is a worldwide, Harrison Coatings a worldwide. I mean, these are literally worldwide paint companies, and they're sitting on the panel, they're sitting on the committee, they're sharing their own wins and losses. It's not just
They're
a
human.
test to say, look at how big we are and how great we are. They're like, man, I remember Rocky talked about how he lost like millions of dollars one year, and I was like, "You did what?"
It's like mind-boggling when you're not
Yeah,
at school and
but I
people.
guess that's how it feels when we lose like 100,000. Like, I mean, you just,
Yeah.
you add
Yes.
perspective and realize he's human. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that when contractors are able to come together and network, especially like with the culture that the PCA have, where you get a lot of servant leaders and people who are so willing to share. But like when you can learn a lesson without having to take the lump yourself, like that's it's such a benefit.
Yep. I was the youngest child, man. I never got in trouble because I just watched what my mother did to get
Yeah,
in
right.
trouble. It's the same thing. Dave's Couture, I'm like, tell me all the mistakes you've made. You're third generation company, and then I'm just gonna not make those mistakes.
Sure.
Yeah, it makes the journey less painful.
Well,
So
and it gets you there quicker too. I mean, think about it, like when you the 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 way you behaved inside your business at 1 million changes a lot at 3 millions. And sometimes like it's like you get stuck in these like periods where it's just like, okay, we're doing 3 million in annual revenue. I want to be at 6. Having someone who's at 6 and can kind of help you through 3 to 6 is such a benefit. If you're at 6 and you want to get to 20, right? Like being able to go to an environment like this where somebody has done that and they can save you some steps and save you a little pain is a again, it's just like you can't really quantify the benefit there.
well, the size of the conference too is awesome. Like if you look at roofing or you look at some of these other industries, RoofCon being an example, the conferences are so much bigger. And yet
Hmm.
you look at this PCA commercial painting, it's big enough that there are a lot of people there, like 100 plus, but it's small enough and long enough that you have time to rub elbows, grab a drink, like really dive deep with these people who are just at absurd levels. That's a very unique opportunity.
Very, very unique. 100 people is like, and it's fairly intimate, right? And so you can just, as you said, you can just get deeper. And yeah, with commercial, it's a lot of relationship development. So there's a lot of business development, prospecting activities. Like we go in the mindset is like it's quality over quantity. We just want to gain one relationship out of this instead of trying to go work the room like the old school, like chamber of commerce events
Just hand
and
out business cards and hand it to everybody.
right. Right.
Make it
It was like,
rain.
hey, we want to go gain one. So just think, I mean, if you go to the conference and you just gain one meaningful relationship, it can change your business. It can change your life. So
What is the pricing of the conference?
good question. It's for, if you're a PCA member, it's just under $1,000 at $999. You can bring a spouse for $499. Non-member is 1,199. Is that correct, Maggie?
Yep.
Okay, and then non-member spouse would be 700, 699.
PCA should do like a rev share so that when Maggie's team comes and then they do 3 projects, rather than be $1,000 or so a person, it's like
There
$10,000.
you go.
We've made the suggestion.
Yeah, PCA would make a lot of money, but that shows the value that people can have. Like you said, Chris, I mean, that's dirt cheap. When you're talking about commercial, $1,000, couple $1,000 for a trip, it would take basically nothing to way more than make that back in commercial.
Right.
So who is it for? Is it for people who are just in commercial? Is it for people who are thinking about who should come to this thing?
It's for anyone. I would say if you are a full residential contractor and you are interested in what commercial may look like, you are 100% welcome. There's a chance that you will be death by or water by fire hose or whatever that, I mean,
Mhm.
it will
A lot of
feel like a
information.
lot. Yeah. It will feel like, some of it will feel like Spanish. But that doesn't mean there's not someone like me or Chris who will meet you where you are because 7 years ago, I didn't have any experience in commercial construction. And so, there's definitely people that will be there, to reach out and help. If you are beginning your step in dabbling in commercial, this is a no-brainer to me. Like Chris said, to be in a culture of people that are willing to share, help, advise, coach, cheer, whatever it is. And then at the same time, if you're kind of where Chris and I are in a fairly established commercial contracting company, to me, it's another no-brainer because you're going to have companies doing things. Chris does things differently than I do. We learn from each other all the time. Then there's companies larger than us that we're going to learn from, and we're going to, share information and best practices with. So I mean, that's a breakdown to say anyone, but I would definitely say, if you don't have experience with commercial and want to attend, for sure come. Just make sure you find someone to kind of lean into if you start to get confused by lingo or jargon, or, Google it, you'll figure it out. But
Well, I know at the last commercial painting conference, I didn't know a ton, and I feel like it was a lot of information, but it was digestible because they
good.
presented it in a way and explained things in a way that people who, I mean, it's a big segment that the PCA targets is residential companies looking to transition into commercial. And so I think you guys did a really good job of creating content that helped with that transition. And then Q&A, an opportunity, not making people feel stupid at all, right? Meeting everyone where they're at, and then giving people the opportunity to enter at really what is a big advantage.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was last commercial, and then expo as well, because we kind of, you see a lot of the same people at both events. And I remember Matt looking at me after, my husband and business partner, after
He's
the
a small
last.
guy, right? Who likes the cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's not very smart and not very big. But he looked at me after kind of the pairing of, commercial in November and expo in February. And he was like, now more than ever, I feel like we can do it. Like, it was a confidence boost. It wasn't this like smushing of like, you're not good enough, you're not big enough, you're not experienced enough. It was an uplifting of like, there's nothing to be scared of. Like, we can do this. And it was from kind of that collection of time with people in the industry doing the type of things that we want to be doing. So it was really neat to kind of see that clarity.
Yeah. And some of the things I know I've heard you and Matt talk about, just ways to get in with property managers and how to make the introduction and actually be seriously considered. It was pretty straightforward stuff, but stuff that you wouldn't really know to do or how to do it or how long to do it, but not rocket
Right.
science at all. Like how
Right,
to
right.
build those relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's super helpful. What other things should people know? Like maybe they've never even been to a PCA event. What other things should they be aware of as they're contemplating whether or not to come to this?
I think that, so obviously the PCA, the commercial conference, we have ownership in making sure this is a great experience. But at the end of the day, like 100 people are going to show up and they're going to share ownership in their experience. So I think that, for me, I had year in 2017, I went to my first PCA expo, and it wasn't a great event because I didn't participate. I didn't fully engage. I went with, uh, yeah. So I went and it just
Mean
wasn't.
mugged everybody the whole time.
Yes, yes. I just stood in the corner and looked really mad. No, um, I went in 2020 completely by myself. I met Matt and Maggie. They were first, some of the first friends I made. But I went by myself, and I really took it serious. As like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna get engaged, I'm going to engage, I'm gonna make this a positive experience. Or if it's not, again, it's like I'm probably not gonna be a part of the PCA. Yeah. We hear that a lot. A lot of people are like, I've been a member for 2 or 3 years, but I haven't went to an expo, I haven't went to an event. So I would say, like, go engage, and you're going to quickly see that you have people there that are going to be so willing to come alongside and get to know you, share information, root you on. We all know, like, like in our businesses, it can get very lonely because you're locked in, you're pursuing a goal. There's moments that we feel like we're the absolute best and moments that we feel like we're the absolute worst. And it's really good to put yourself in a position to see your peers and have peers that, like, when you need to make a phone call, when I need to call Matt or I need to call Maggie, and being able to develop that relationship. But to tie that back into how I started is, like, you have ownership in your experience, right? So go there willing to jump in, willing to network, willing to consume the content. You guys were just covering that there's a lot of different ways. Like you're going to have a keynote presenting to you. You're going to have panels that you can listen to get multiple opinions. You're going to have presentations where you can just listen to someone speak. You're going to have brain melds where you can sit at a table and collaborate and share and spar. So there's going to be different ways for you to learn. So you really kind of curate your trip based on the way that you take information. So it's just like go there, be prepared, jump in, and you know, have a great experience and get lots of good takeaways.
Yeah, I think I have to remind myself of this a lot, but we're all entrepreneurs, right? We're all business owners. So I joined a mastermind group and I started to think that I shouldn't have joined it. And then I realized, well, it's up to me to make it valuable. Like I make my own reality. I'm an entrepreneur. And when I go to events, I actually get nervous, which a lot of people wouldn't think. But the first night, the cocktail stuff, I'm always nervous. I'm like, okay, I feel shy, whatever. But then I remember I'm an entrepreneur and there's an opportunity and I need to go capitalize on it. And I think if you get in the right mindset, like you said, take ownership of the experience and responsibility. You're leading a business. You're responsible to your team, your family, whatever you're doing it for. There's really not a way to miss. But yeah, if you show up, you're in a shell. You don't want to talk with anyone. The brain melds obviously wouldn't really be as beneficial for you if you don't talk to anybody. You'll still get a lot of information. It just won't be the same experience.
But it could be, yeah. So remember, the theme is bold. So show up, be bold.
Yeah. The brain melts are great. Like anyone who's been to the expo, they know, the round table sharing ideas, the stuff that's dropped there is just absolute gold. And the panels, the Q&A, the fact that you can just pick the brains of all these people, because there's always PCA does a great job leaving a lot of time for Q&A. It's very interactive.
Yep. Yep.
If people want to see more about this, I know you guys are finalizing all the speakers presentations. They can go to PCAPainted.org. That's PCAPainted.org, and then click the event. I think it's like events drop down, and then live events. Go to the PCA Commercial Painting Conference, and stuff will be updated there.
Yep. And you can register for the event. I think obviously there'll be a link to get you registered for Boulders. So you can get your room reserved. There's still space available. So again, if we piqued your interest at all, go check out that resort. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and if you guys are, what did you say, Maggie?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. And if for people who have been listening to me for a while, I don't put up stuff that I don't believe in. Everyone who listens to me knows I believe in the PCA. But if I thought this were not a good conference, I would not film a podcast episode about it, as I would lose credibility. So I very much believe in this. I think it's going to be amazing.
Well, and even if you don't come for the painting, don't forget pickleball tournament on Tuesday.
That's why you come, for the pickleball.
Oh yeah,
Chris, your host. You have no idea how good I am.
I'm looking forward to it.
I played pickleball for the first time like 2 months ago, and I had always been on the fence about it. I used to play tennis in college, but now I'm older, kind of fat. I was like, you know what? Pickleball's all right. You don't have to, the court's a lot smaller. It is all right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Brandon, we got to get you to this conference, man. You need to carve it out, find a way.
I know. I'm debating. In October, I'm basically going all month. So November, I promised Ariel I'd try to tone it down a little bit.
Fair enough.
It's
But
fair.
we'll see. We'll see. I might pull an
that.
audible. I might pull an audible. I've been known to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to add as we wrap up this episode?
No, I think just feel free to reach out to either of us if you're on the fence and want more questions. I know Brandon has his Facebook group for the podcast. You can tag Chris or I in there. Or if you go to PCA's website, we're both on the board of directors, and I believe our contact information's on there as well. Fastest way would probably be Brandon's Facebook group. But yeah, if you're on the fence and confused or not sure, or anything else relating to this conference, and whether or not you're a good fit and would benefit, feel free to reach out to one of us. We would love to talk it out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Chris, were you saying something?
No, I was just agreeing.
I try to
Absolutely.
make sure I cut you
Maggie
off.
already touched on this. If you're a commercial contractor or you're a residential contractor interested in commercial contracting, if you're a PCA member or not a PCA member, I'd highly recommend participating in this event.
It's a good opportunity. You can't pass up good opportunities as an entrepreneur. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking your time to talk about this, and thank you for planning it. I know I'm on a couple committees, and I know it's a big deal. A lot of work goes into this. I think it's easy to overlook that. So appreciate everything you guys are doing for it. It sounds like it's going to be truly amazing.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you,
man.
Brandon.
Thanks, guys. If you want to learn more about the topics we discussed in this podcast and how you can use them to grow your painting business, visit paintermarketingpros.com/podcast for free training, as well as the ability to schedule a personalized strategy session for your painting company. Again, that URL is paintermarketingpros.com/podcast. Hey there, painting company owners. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us your feedback. Let us know how we did. And also, if you're interested in taking your painting business to the next level, make sure you visit the Painter Marketing Pros website at paintermarketingpros.com to learn more about our services. You can also reach out to me directly by emailing me at brandon@paintermarketingpros.com, and I can give you personalized advice on growing your painting business. Until next time, keep growing.